Napoli 3-2 Leicester, player ratings as Foxes crash out of Europa League. Leicester tumbled down into the Europa Conference League after a 3-2 defeat to Napoli, saw them fall from first to third in Group C of the Europa League. Timothy Castaigne spurned a great chance to put Leicester ahead after just 2 minutes, after which Adam Aunas went right down the other end and fired home an opener with a tidy finish past Kasper Schmeichel. Elsewhere, Spartak Moscow went 1-0 up against Legia Warsaw, which saw Leicester fall down third in the group, facing a drop down to the Conference League. A response was needed. Unfortunately, it took a while to come, and Napoli went 2-0 up almost immediately after. Andrea Patagna unselfishly squared the ball to Eljif Elmas, who tapped the ball into an empty net to give Leicester a real mountain to climb. Johnny Evans pulled one back shortly before the halftime break, and just a few minutes later, Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall thundered home a glorious equaliser to send Leicester second in the group before the break. The frenetic pace continued after the interval, but unfortunately for Leicester, it was Elmas who bagged the game's next goal. He found himself alone in the box, and after some smart footwork to get his body set, he fired past Schmeichel. James Maddison struck the post just a few minutes later after being gifted a glorious chance from an outrageously awful pass from Giovanni Di Lorenzo, which was the closest Leicester came to an equaliser. Brendan Rodgers' side pushed for another equaliser, but didn't ask too much of Alex Merritt in the Napoli goal, although Dewsbury-Hall may have done better had he not slipped at a vital moment. Elsewhere, Legia were awarded a penalty in the 8th minute of stoppage time which could have saved Leicester, but a poor effort was saved, and Spartak walked away with the win that ended the Foxes' hopes of qualification. Kasper Schmeichel, GK, 4/10, made some decent saves but a few too many mistakes, and poor decisions didn't help Leicester's cause. Timothy Castaigne, RB, 4/10, should have scored within minutes and looked shaky after that. Not tight enough for Elmas' second. Johnny Evans, CB, 6/10, another big goal from Evans. Seemed to drag his side back into the game. Kagler Soyuncu, CB, 3/10, a really poor pass for the opener which threw Tielemans under the bus. Set the tone for a really shaky performance. Ryan Bertrand, LB, 1/10, inexplicably offside for Napoli's second, and even had the balls to appeal for offside afterwards. Comically awful for the majority of the game. Wilfred Ndidi, DM, 4/10, didn't do a great job of shielding his defense. Looked a bit overwhelmed at times. Knocked Hirving Lozano's teeth out with his knee. James Maddison, RM, 5/10, hit the post looking for an equaliser and looked a bit lost out on the right. Saw about 15 minutes in a central role late on. Youri Tielemans, CM, 4/10, looked like a man who had 5 games out with a calf injury. Unfortunate with his control for the opener, but guilty of some really poor touches later on. Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, CM, 7/10, a glorious way to score his first Leicester goal. Played with real energy and impressed with his vision. Harvey